Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. I am Hayna Daguit and I'm going to present my chosen literary work under the Anglo-Saxon period. Now, I chose the most remarkable literary works under the Anglo-Saxon period entitled The Wife's Lament. But before we begin, let me give you a brief introduction. Unlike Beowulf, which highlights heroic battles and bravery, The Wife's Lament actually focuses on the emotional struggles of a woman. It is one of the earliest poems in the English literature that presents a woman's perspective on love, separation, and loneliness. The Wife's Lament. I make this song about myself, deeply sorrowful. I tell on my own fate what troubles I have endured since I grew up, both new and old, never more than now. Even I have suffered the torment of exile. First my Lord left his people, and departed over the waves. I wearied at dawn, wondering where my Lord might be on earth. Then I journeyed, friendless and alone, seeking a place to live. The relatives of my husband began to plot secretly, planning to separate us so that we would live from apart. And this wide word, I have been exiled. My Lord commanded me to dwell here. Few dear friends remained, few loyal companions. Therefore, my heart is filled with sorrow. I found a dwelling. Beneath an oak tree is an underground cave. An ancient this earth hall is. I am consumed with longing. The valleys are dark, the hills are high, the bitter fortifications overground with briars, the dwelling joyless. Often my lord's absence has brought misery upon me. Friends on earth lie sleeping in their graves, while I walk alone before dawn, beneath the oak tree where I sit and weep over my exile. There I may never escape the sorrow that has filled my life, nor may I cease from longing for the man who is far away. A young man must always be stern in mind. Though he may have a cheerful appearance, he must keep hidden the sorrow in his heart. No matter how much suffering is endured, so must it be for one who longs for a beloved Lord. Whether the whole world stands between them, or whether he lies beneath the earth, the longing remains. So that is the wife's lament. So who is the author of the wife's laments? The authors of the wife's laments is actually unknown and or anonymous. Like many works from the Anglo-Saxon period, the poem was originally passed down through oral tradition before it was written in the Exeter book or a manuscript compiled during the 10th century. Although we do not know that poet's identity, scholars believe that the author was an educated Anglo-Saxon writer who was familiar with both Germanic traditions and Christians' belief. So what is the poem is all about? The poem is narrated by a wife who tells the story of her suffering after being separated from her husband because of family conflict. She is forced to leave her home and live alone in the underground dwelling beneath an oak tree. As she reflects on her memories, she expresses her loneliness, heartbreak, and longing for the life she once had. The poem does not clearly explain whether she and her husband will ever reunite, making its ending open on interpretation. What are the struggles of the poem? The wife lament is written in Old English alternative verse, meaning that the repetition of beginning consonants sounds creates its rhythm instead of rhyme. It is also written in the first person point of view, allowing readers to directly experience the wife's thoughts and emotions. The poem consists of approximately 53 lines, and it's considered dramatic monologue because only the wife speak throughout the poem. So what is the importance of the poem? The poem is the importance of the poem is it presents a different side of Anglo-Saxon literature, while many works from this period celebrates warriors and heroic deeds. The Wife's Lament reminds us that literature can also explore human emotions, especially grief, loneliness, and hope. It also reflects the values of the Anglo-Saxon society, including loyalty, exile, faith, and endurance, while showing the influence of both Germanic traditions and Christians' belief. So, to wrap up the wife's lament, the literary piece that I've chose under the Anglo-Saxon, which is the wife's lament, is actually more than just a poem. It's more about sadness. It is um both reflection on love, separation, and emotional strength needed to endure hardship. Even though it was written over 100 years ago, its message remains relevant today because many people still experience loneliness, loss, and hope of reunion. So that is the end of my report. Thank you so much, and I hope you learn something from the literary work that I've chose under the Anglo-Saxon period. Thank you so much.